Hello, hello. Can you hear me, Saul?
I can.
Welcome. I'm do a little intro. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine, the lovely spring weather today. It's finally nice to see that out there for a change. Today, we're honored to have Saul Rapkin from McConville Omni Insurance Brokers here to answer some questions discussing insurance companies and what they're doing during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just a little bit about Saul. Saul spent 4 years as an insurance agent owner with the Cooperators, is now at McConnell Omni Insurance Brokerage managing personal lines. He's got a vast experience with all lines of business, including home, auto, and commercial. Saul, I want to thank you for taking the time and joining us here today to discuss insurance, especially through these interesting times. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, James. I really appreciate it. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're going through, obviously trying to provide resources to our clients, we're trying to invite people that we work closely with, and I know you've helped out many of our clients, happy to have you here. So let's get right into it. We've got a list of questions to go through today. If anyone has any questions towards the end of it, feel free to type it into the comments box, and we'll ask Saul. So Saul, first one I've got here, tell us a bit about yourself, McConnell Omni Insurance Brokers, and the stuff that you do there.
Okay, sure. So like you mentioned, I have some experience in the agency world from Cooperators for 4 years. I owned and operated a successful multi-line agency. We did pretty much everything: commercial, home, auto. We also focused on some life and wealth stuff as well. And now I am the personal lines manager at McConville Omni Brokerage. So some people in London may be familiar with McConville Omni. It's a brokerage focusing on commercial and home and auto. It's in 2015 they merged May McConville with Omni, and that's where you get McConville Omni. So I manage a team of 15 frontline brokers, and we basically help people place business for their home and auto insurance.
That's amazing. It's quite a change. It's cool to be on the brokerage level and be able to help people like that. It's really cool. So let's get into obviously COVID. We've seen quite an effect on every type of industry, business, that type of thing. We've learned what banks are doing, mortgage companies. We've talked last week to a property management company, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a bit about what the insurance world's doing. I've heard a little bit in terms of discounts being offered. What does that look like?
Yeah, good question. Obviously the circumstances with COVID are being felt across all industries and all businesses. So the focus that we've had at McConville Omni is we're looking at what can we do for clients that need immediate assistance. And I think a lot of carriers and a lot of companies are looking at that part of it. So what a lot of carriers are doing and what we're doing is we're reaching out to clients and we're being proactive, and we're asking people, are their driving habits changing? And for the most part, they are, right? If you think about yourself, you're not driving to meet clients anymore. You're working from home. You're not using your car as much. So that has seen a reduction in claims, which we want to pass that back to the client. So we're offering premium discounts, 1 month, 3 months. Every carrier is different with how they're presenting it. But bottom line is the goal is to save clients some money now when they need it. And then, we can defer payments, things like that, for once things hopefully soon get back to normal. So yeah, it really comes down to understanding the options that we have available and then letting clients know what those options are.
So do these I guess we wouldn't call it a rebate, but discounts, are they different for someone pays monthly, if someone pays annually? How does that look?
Good question. So if someone pays monthly, typically the refund will just be a reduction on their monthly premiums going forward. Whereas if someone pays annually, they'll likely just get a check in the mail to cover the difference in the cost.
Got it.
overall the discount will be the same. It's usually just a percentage of the annual premium. So depending on how you pay, it's how you're going to see that return to you.
Got it. Got it. Now, how does one go about getting these discounts? Do you have to call them? Do they do it automatically? Is every company different?
Yeah, good question. Pretty much every company is going to be a bit different. Some companies, like what we're doing is we're being proactive. We're reaching out to clients as carriers get in touch with us, and we're letting the clients know, here's what the carriers are doing. Here's how we can help you get it. Either reach out to us, or in some cases, it's actually automatic. Carriers are just applying the discounts and then rebating the money. With some companies, maybe smaller companies, they're waiting for clients to call in to change usage.
Okay.
That's maybe a little bit more of a hassle for a client. But those are kind of the big ways that we've seen companies either being proactive or maybe being a little bit more reactive.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So best bet is if you haven't heard from the insurance company, call them up and see what they're doing.
Exactly.
Now, is every company different? Is there government mandate put out, or is it up to the company?
It's pretty much up to the company. Government mandate doesn't really get involved when it comes to refunding. They're more involved in setting the actual rates. So
Okay.
when companies are refunding, they're refunding based on their bottom line profit, so to speak, on their commission portion. So really what it comes down to is larger companies that have ability to refund, obviously you're going to have a larger book,
Hmm.
versus smaller companies like a mutual or something like that, where they're getting hurt pretty bad by this, so they may not be able to have that depth of extra capital to do refunds. But for the most part, we found that majority of carriers are trying to offer some relief because, again, it's a tough time. People are driving less, and if there's the ability to help, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's a good attitude. That's good. Now, what kind of driving changes has the insurance industry seen? What can you comment on that?
I would say the most common driving changes are going to be reduction in annual kilometers driven. Um, just the amount of kilometers people are driving daily is obviously decreasing dramatically. The other question that's asked a lot of times during auto insurance is, what's your commute? What's your commute to work, or just daily commuting kilometers? That's significantly dropping, which then obviously rolls into the annual kilometers. So we're seeing a huge decrease in that. We're seeing families that sometimes have 2 or 3 vehicles. Well, they don't need 2 or 3 vehicles on the road, so maybe they take one vehicle off the road and put it onto comprehensive only,
Yeah.
where they're going to save a ton of money taking that vehicle off. So that's the biggest changes we're seeing, is just that reduction of vehicle usage in general is trickling down.
Yeah, yeah. Now, in terms of claim trends, I always find that interesting, and
Mhm.
I'm sure you've definitely seen a change when it comes to claims. Can you comment a bit on that?
Sure. We're the industry as a whole, but I can definitely speak to our claims department. We're seeing a huge decrease in auto claims. Obviously, with less driving comes less accidents, so
Yeah,
people aren't on the road, and therefore the claims are going down. It's great to see. Obviously, it's a trend based solely on the COVID situation, and things will likely get back to normal once people are out and about again. But again, kind of ties into why we're offering these relief measures, is because that reduction in claims means that we're not paying out as much for vehicle repairs and things like that. So why not give back to the clients? It just
yeah,
kind of goes hand in hand. On the property side, we're seeing not so much a reduction of claims, but maybe the severity of the claims is going down a little bit. It's still too early to tell because property claims tend to take a little longer to settle.
mhm,
But if people are home all day and a toilet overflows, they're there to catch it quickly, turn off the water, call it in quick, versus a toilet overflowing when someone's away from the home and now it's going through the floor, it's going into the HVAC system, and you've got a pretty massive water claim on your hands. So severity is going down. And just quickly to touch on the commercial side, we have on the commercial side seen a bit of an increase in claims because vacant businesses are kind of unfortunately an attractive target. So there's some vandalism, thefts, things like that. So you're really seeing an interesting change in the industry in terms of claims, because the world as we know it has kind of changed.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the business, and I know we didn't discuss talking too much about that, but that's an area that you focus in. I know anyone that takes a drive downtown, we see some of the businesses that are boarded up.
Mm-hmm.
Are those suggestions put out by insurance companies? Are those steps that businesses are taking to reduce their liability? How does the insurance company get involved in these type of times?
Good question. I mean, no, but boarding the windows isn't necessarily recommended by the insurance, but would we be opposed to it? No. It's obviously going to protect against thefts, glass claims, people throwing a rock through the window for no reason. It's something that the business owners are, if they're willing to do it, we're not going to oppose it, but it's not going to really give them a break in terms of premium. It can help them out though, in the sense that every claim is going to hurt in terms of premium increases in the future. So anything proactive that a business can do is super beneficial for not just insurance, but for them in terms of keeping the premiums reasonable. It's tough with downtown being empty and people not being down there. There's just that higher level of maybe undesirable folks hanging out down there and causing issues. I mean, overall, being proactive is always beneficial for the business and for the insurance side of things, but we wouldn't really make too many recommendations like that. It's more, just telling business owners, hey, it's a tough situation, be proactive, and let's try to make sure that your business is protected.
Yeah. Now, have you seen yet an increase in business claims, or do you foresee that in the future? What are your predictions? What in terms of that? Got to get out the crystal ball.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're starting. It's been pretty stable, but we're starting to see just a bit of an increase in small theft claims, vandalism claims, glass claims, where someone's breaking a window, whether that be to gain entry and then commit a theft, or just throwing something through the window just because. Vandalisms, things like that. But not a huge increase overall. And my kind of prediction is, with a lot of restaurants being closed or being scaled back, maybe we'll see less fire claims. That's really the only kind of big prediction I can make. I don't foresee a huge change in the commercial side, but on the property side and the auto side, there's huge changes.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I know we've covered a lot of questions. Is there anything that we feel that you feel you've missed, that we should discuss concerning COVID-19, the insurance world? Anything else that you want to comment on? If anyone has any questions, now's the time. Submit a question as well, and we can ask Saul.
Yeah, I'll say kind of, because I mean, everyone has insurance, so just look at your driving habits if you haven't already. Big tips would be, if you've got more than one vehicle on the road, maybe look at what the family driving habits are and think about if it may be worth taking one of those vehicles off of the road. If you have a garage, putting it on comp only will save a good chunk of change on the premiums. And really, if you've already done something like that, the only other thing to be aware of is just make sure when this all kind of blows over that you do make sure you put that vehicle back on liability, because you don't want to be driving uninsured.
Yeah.
Other tips would really just be, look at look at what your driving habits are, look at what your premiums are, decide if it's worth giving your insurance company a call if they haven't reached out, see what's available, what kind of refunds are available, what kind of relief measures are available. But I mean, overall, with people staying home, probably a lot less likely to have a kitchen fire, probably a lot less likely to have maybe you have a flood, but you're able to catch it quicker. So I think overall, people are actually in a better situation when it comes to freak claim accidents, because they're quicker to catch it at the home, and on the vehicle side, with less driving comes less accidents.
Yeah, interesting. What a change in the industry. It's crazy how this virus has affected so many businesses, and
Hmm.
it's just crazy. Now, if someone wants to reach out to you, to get a quote or ask some questions, how does one go about reaching out to you?
So I don't know if my email is posted, but email is definitely the best. I'm on
Okay.
email all day, checking them pretty good with good response time. And yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions about what I chatted about in terms of just tips, tricks, quotes, anything like that. And I can absolutely help out and take care of everyone.
Yeah, as mentioned before, we Amanda and I can both vouch for Saul. We've worked together on several transactions. Several clients have switched and working with Saul, and you've been a great help. And it's great because you can cover everything. If you have a business, home, auto, it's great. So what I'll do is I'll post all your information in the comments section after this. And
Sure.
yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and coming on here today.
I really appreciate you having me. And yeah, thanks for the kind words.
Just
And
one sec. I think there's a question.
sure.
My like there's a bit of a delay here, so just give me 1 second. Just gonna pull it up. Fortunately, our producer Amanda caught it.
Great work.
Uh, just pulling it up here. So is there written evidence required to the insurance company to prove that you're doing less driving?
Oh, good question. No, not given the circumstances. And again, I can't speak for every company, but for our carriers and for our company and for several other companies that I've been in contact with, we're assuming that majority of people are doing less driving. It's pretty evident. So there is not any written evidence or written proof required. It would be as simple as just if you haven't heard from your company, just give them a call and just say, hey, listen, I was driving 10,000 kilometers annually. That's down to 5. And, or, my daily commute is 0 or very low. Maybe you're going to the grocery store once a week, something like that. And they should be able to make that change for you in a short period of time. And, again, you'll see a little bit of savings there. It's not going to be dramatic. The biggest savings you're really going to see is if you had multiple vehicles and you take one of them off the road. But yeah, no written evidence needed.
Perfect, perfect. Tracy, I hope that answers your question, and thanks for taking the time to ask a question. I do appreciate it. Perfect. Well, Saul, I appreciate you taking the time and coming on here today. And stay safe. And I'll share your information. And if anyone has any insurance questions, definitely reach out to Saul. He'll be able to help you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, James.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, and thanks everyone.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Okay, take care.
Bye bye.